Okay, good afternoon all. Sorry this has been a bit late. This takes absolutely ages. I was working on this all day tomorrow. It takes such a lot of work to get this all done. Apologies why I've got this out at this time and not sooner. So let's get into it, shall we? Good start. Definitely a good start for the competition. I think a few people have mentioned about how they're in many leagues with some casual managers and they had certain players in their teams who have done very well. So the player stats has been populated. If I have a look at the top point scorers from the first round of games, I mean, who would have had Fabian Ruiz in their team? He wasn't nailed, ended up 15 points. Danny Carvajal, I can see why some casual managers would have put him in the team if they watched the Champions League final where he scored a goal. I think, oh yeah, good player, plays for Real Madrid, get him in the team. Even though that was his first Champions League goal of the season, he rarely scores. And Spain had a tough fixture against Croatia, and then they play Italy in this round. So it's going to happen, isn't it? Casual managers having bad picks who do well. I even noticed how the world number one has he has Kobe Mainu in his team. I was thinking, well, Kobe Mainu, he must be at least 4.5 million. No, 5.5 million. Waste of an England slot, and he's expensive for what you're getting. A player who's never gonna he's hardly gonna play any minutes at all. So it's going to happen. Casual managers doing well, but over the course of the 7 game weeks, hopefully we can put them in their place, shall we say. Get the spreadsheet up and running. Notes page. Remember to check that out for the important absentees. Lunin, I've got him in my team. I've put him as a 60% chance of starting. I had a quick look at some Ukraine newspapers online and I couldn't see anything that he's definitely been dropped. So I'm just going to keep him in there and hope he plays. I don't want to waste a transfer on a goalkeeper, especially a goalkeeper who might play. And plus the distribution of scores for goalkeepers. I've put that new sheet in there. Goalkeepers score very poorly. I'll come on to that later. The big injury news, Mbappe. I've put him as, move my head that way, 25%. I think it's likely he's out for this game week. If you've got him in the team, you've got to transfer him out. I'll come on to who you should be bringing in. Other than that, I'm going to mention Rodri. Some people are thinking he's not going to play. I had a look at the news and he came off with cramp. He's likely going to play, even though Spain have got a hard fixture against Italy. The difference in this spreadsheet to last night is I've tweaked the attributes, the expected minutes, goal share, assist share for formation for Portugal. I think they're going to go 4-3-3. Weird formation last night, didn't work. I think Paulina is likely to come in the team, which should slightly help Bruno, even though he was playing quite deep. The other important information from last night is I do think Ronaldo is going to play every minute. He's going to play 90 minutes. Still a good pick if you have Ronaldo in your team. So let's get into it. Data has been updated. Data Rex tab. So I've added in a column there. If that player is in your squad, that is bringing information from my squad. So this is set up with my team as it stands right now. All the players are in there. The best way to do it is copy the actual name from one of the solver sheets. So either solver match day 2 or match day 3. So if you're limitless in 3, like me, you want to use this one because it's your transfers, your 2 free transfers for this game week. If you're doing limitless in this game week, so limitless 2, and then you can have a little look ahead as to what you're going to do in match day 3. So your squad needs to have the exact right name. Like say you spell Pickford wrong. Will bring up an error saying that player is not recognized within Solver MD2. So what you need to do is if you have any players that are different, just go into Solver Match Day 2, find them, and then just copy them and paste them into there. So undo, get that back to normal. So that's my team. So that's why it's going into Data X tab. So if we filter this by, because I'm 1, 2 free transfers for Match Day 2. And start at the back. We're going to do goalkeepers first, the lowest scoring position. If I was on a wild card, I'd bring in Litvakovic. That's how you say his name. And I'd pair him with Hens. Cheap option, only 4 mil. I've got, as you can see there, my player, I've got Pickford and Lunin. I'm not going to make a goalkeeper transfer, even though Lunin's a risk not to start. You can see there it's fairly well owned. So it's less risk if he's fairly well owned. You're not the only one in the boat for that. Next, I'm going to have a look at forwards. So I've got these 3 here: Kane, Lukaku, Havertz. Lukaku, I mentioned him in the previous video. I'm going to keep him in. He was unlucky not to score, but he didn't. He showed the sort of player he is. Technically not very good, but he can be quite effective if he's not getting goals disallowed. Ronaldo, great option for Portugal. They've got a decent fixture against Turkey. There's not a lot of standout fixtures in this round, as opposed to match day 1 and 3. But I'm not going to make a forward transfer. I'm happy with Kane, Lukaku, Havertz. If I was on a wild card, I would bring in Patrick Schick. He's cheap. Czech Republic, I've got a good fixture. Say that. I'm trying to remember who they play. Czech Republic play Georgia. Yep, good fixture for Czech Republic. And if you bring in Stick at the right time, right tab, if you bring in Stick, that means that you're not going to have Havertz, and then you can have 3 Germany players elsewhere. So 2 midfielders and a defender is what I would recommend. If you've got Mbappe, so yep, Mbappe, unlikely to play this game week. You're going to have to transfer him out. It's a lot of money to have tied up in a player who's not going to play, especially in an important forward position. You want to get a good player in, a good captaincy option. So if I had Mbappe, I would transfer him out for Patrick Stick, and then that would free up a lot of money. You're going from Mbappe, what is he, 11 million? Down to 7, and then you could get in a really good midfielder for that savings. An alternative is to bring in Griezmann. The main reason is because if Mbappe is not playing, Griezmann will be on pens. He's on pretty much all set pieces. And looking to captains, so I've got Gundo, I've got Kane, I've got Fernandez. There's only 4 match days too. Bringing in Griezmann is a good option for your captain on match day 2. So looking at captains, sorry, the third day in match day 2. That's the reason why I'm going to keep Van Dijk. If we go back to Data X tab, filter for was the 21st. You can see the players or the teams in that are playing that day. I don't have anyone from any of those teams apart from Van Dijk for Netherlands, so I'm going to keep him in just because I've got one player I can captain on that day. If a Germany player blanks and then Kane blanks on the first 2 days, then I've got Van Dijk, who, with Mbappe playing, they're not playing. The Netherlands' chances of a clean sheet go up slightly. Plus, I expect Van Dijk to be on pen, so he's not a terrible option. Obviously not as good as other players on that day. Where is he? I've just filtered by forwards. Yeah. I would prefer, yeah, what do you say his name? Dovbyk or Griezmann for that day. But I'm not going to do any forward transfers. Like I said, if you've got Mbappe, yep, either Patrick Schick to free up money or go for Griezmann to get a good captain option for the 3rd day. Let's do midfielders next. So I've got Gundo, I've got Bruno. Still happy to keep Bruno. I think he's going to be slightly more higher up the pitch in the next game. Got Wirtz, and then down here is my head's in the way, but Chanoglu and Ericsson. So Ericsson is definitely going out of my team. Denmark are playing England, tough fixture for Denmark. And looking at here, De Bruyne, very expensive, 9.5. Major, if that's how you say his name, for Croatia, I like him. I'm not going to bring in Musiala. I've already got three Germany players. Modric, I also like. If you had Mbappe and you downgraded to Patrick Schick, you'd have the money for KDB or Jude Bellingham, the way you could easily get to those players. I'm definitely going to do a midfielder. So Eriksen's going to go out for either Major or Modric, because Croatia play Albania this round, which is, I think, Albania, one of the worst teams in the competition. That's a great fixture for Croatia. Modric is on penalties. There's a slight minutes risk with him. He doesn't play 90 minutes often. I think that's the main reason why they took him off early in the previous game. They were getting beat off Spain. The game had gone. Result was decided. So it was a smart decision to bring off Modric early, save him for this game. Major, he's going to be playing 90 minutes no matter what. Let's go on to defenders. Cancelo, keeping him in. Base, keeping him in. My head's in the way, but that's Gahey and Van Dijk and DeMarco are down here. Middlestat, still a great option for Germany. He looks... if you're a Middlestat owner, you were very unlucky not to get a clean sheet. And you should be positive, should be happy that he played 90 minutes. He didn't come off. Even though the result was decided, he didn't come off for David Raum, so that's made his minutes go up, basically. Switzerland have got a great fixture playing Scotland. I watched a few videos from big content creators, and a lot of them, they do well because they use models, and you can see they're coming out with some horrendous, not a lot of horrendous picks, but there's a few horrendous picks coming out because they're not following a model. They're a grass manager now. And one of them, FPL Harry, I'll say his name, one of his suggested transfers for a defender was Andy Robertson. I mean, Andy Robertson, he's not playing for Liverpool at home to Sheffield United. He's playing for Scotland, who are terrible. Andy Robertson is like all the way down here. There he is. Andy Robertson. Bringing him in for 5.5. Just a waste of time. As soon as he says that, I'm like, right, delete, cancel. I'm not watching the rest of your video. 54th best defender for this game week, Andy Robertson. Bring in Andy Robertson. No, that's a bad idea. Bring in Rodriguez for Switzerland, good fixture, or Gvardiol for Croatia. That's a good idea. Even Kufal for Czech Republic or Czechia. Those are the defenders it should be targeting. I am tempted, so I'm definitely going to do one midfielder transfer, bringing in a Croatian defender, and the other one maybe Gvardiol. So I'm going to probably bring in two Croatian players between Major, Modric, and Gvardiol, and get rid of Chanoglu, Ericsson. And the defender I might get rid of is DeMarco, just because I want to keep Van Dijk for having a captaincy option for the third day. But you can see here the similar teams that are popping up: Croatia, Czech Republic, Switzerland. Good defenders for this match day. Yeah, that. Right. So if you want to fill in your squad, remember to put in the exact player as it comes there. If you want to know how to run Solver, got notes here on the first page. So where to download it from, instructions. There's a video that I've done for my FPL model on how to run it. I'll show you how to do it now briefly. So if I go to Solver MD2, once you data tab, show you that. Always show. So once you install open Solver, here it is right here. So what I was saying about how you need to have the exact player name, otherwise it won't work. So say if Pickford Pickford was not matching. You see that squad there went from a 1 to a 0. Otherwise, the solver won't know that you've got 15 players. So if I was to run this now, it would take about, it wouldn't take long, it would take about a minute, but because watching the video now, we don't want to be just waiting around for a minute. I'm going to sort largest to smallest on the expected points for match day 2. I'm going to go to the bottom and then I'm going to delete all the rows. Delete all the rows that I don't need. So all these players who project to score poorly, I'm going to delete them all until I get to Luna. Oh, no, that's Pickford. Sorry, I've gone. There he is. I'm going to select all those rows, go to the bottom, delete that. And then, so over here, this is basically going to maximize your expected points for this maximize your expected points for this match day. This is saying that you've got 2 free transfers, and the bench weighting, I'm saying that is 1. So it's like 100% of the bench weighting. You can play around with that because your bench weighting isn't, it's not, you're not going to get all the points. You're going to use subs. So you could reduce that down to say 0.75 or 0.1, but I'm just going to run it now to give you an idea. So if I click over here and just click solve, my chest is in the way, but on the bottom left hand corner over here, it is, say on the tab that it's running the solver. Oh, this is going to take longer than what I wanted because I'm using quite a lot of memory recording this video at the same time. That's a pity. You have to wait. You could fast forward this bit if you wanted. We're over halfway. We're nearly there. I know this is frustrating. Just skip this. I don't want to pause this video, start it up again, and then splice the 2 videos together. But we have run now, and this pops up to say okay, and then it has. If I go to the planner, match day 2. This is what it's suggesting to me. My transfers for this match day. So there it's saying I want to bring in Major by him or Ericsson, and because the bench weighting is 1 or 100%, it's saying get in Litvakovic, the Croatian goalkeeper, for Lunin, who's not expected to play. I'm not too happy about that. So what I would do is to sort of force keeping a player. So if I wanted to tell the solver to force it to keep Lunin, I would go over here. So he's expected to get 2.1 points. I'm just going to manually adjust that, put that up to 4. And then if I was to run that again, it would definitely keep Lunin. And it would probably suggest to me get rid of Canoglu as well, or either get rid of Canoglu for another Croatian midfielder or upgrade DeMarco to a Croatian defender. So those are the transfers I'm going to make. I'm going to wait till the deadline because we get to see Croatia's lineup before the deadline. So I'm obviously going to do that. Just going to check my notes, what I need to talk about next. Okay, so the next thing, a couple of you messaged me and said, are you not worried about not having Mbappe? Are you not worried about having a certain player? And the thing is, even if you are on a limitless, there's going to be players not in your team who you would want in your team or you would like to have in your team, but you've got to make sacrifices somewhere. You're not going to have the absolute perfect team where you've got every good player. I have to make a choice. So even if, like, for this match day, oh, sorry, even for this match day, oh, I should buy a new laptop, treat myself. Even for this match day, if you're on limitless, you could have the top 3 forwards, and then you don't have Havertz, he could haul. You don't have Griezmann, France could get a penalty, Griezmann could get an assist, he could haul. There's always going to be somebody in your team who could haul. Just got to make the best decisions that we can and live with it, basically. And I'm now going to talk about the score distributions. So Sticking or twisting your captains and your goalkeepers. I put on Twitter and I mentioned to you in messages that I was happy to twist on Havertz because Havertz got, go over here, Havertz got 9 points, and I calculated using the score distributions that was a 58% chance of one of my future captains bettering that 9 points. Obviously, you want to be less aggressive with twisting on this match day because there's only 4 days in this match day as opposed to the 5 in the previous round. So you have one less chance at getting a good captain. Plus the third day doesn't have great fixtures. So looking at this, I'll quickly talk about goalkeepers first because that's easier. The distribution of points for goalkeepers is much less. So say you have Livrakovic, you say his name. Say he gets you 4 points, and your second goalkeeper, just for argument's sake, say it's Neuer. Right. So the chance of you doing better than the 4 points is the sum of these columns here, and you can see right down here, 48%. 48% chance of doing better than the 4 points from the Croatian goalkeeper if you then pivoted to Germany. So that 48% is that 48% there. This is so over here is the chance of him getting each score. So he's got a 10% chance of getting 1 point. He's got a 20% chance, 26% chance of getting 2 points, etc. And over here is the sum or the accumulation. So the chance of him getting 1 point or more is 95%. So if you can see here, you can do, you can just eyeball. Let's say your first goalkeeper gets a certain score. Have a look over here. What's the chances of your next goalkeeper bettering that score? As a general rule of thumb, if you get 4 points, I would stick with it. Your chances, if you get 4 points, what you're likely to do better, you're likely to get 6 points for a clean sheet, or 7 if they get a clean sheet and a save point. Getting 4 points is quite rare, just because to get 4 points, your goalkeeper needs to concede a goal and then get 2 points for saves, so 6 plus saves. It's quite rare. It does happen, but it's rare. And so you can use this to calculate if you want to twist or stick on your captains as well. So the way that I calculated it, say for argument's sake, you have Gundo in the first game and he gets 6 points. So your chances of Fernandez getting 7 points or more, 42%. Your chance of De Bruyne getting 7 points or more, 37, etc. So if we do some maths, might not be fun, but let's do it. Say Gundo gets 6 points, and we're going to do 100% minus 42 there. Gives a chance, 58% chance that Fernandez is not going to get 7 points or more. So if we were to then go to our next best keeper, just say it's KDB, the chance of him getting 7 points or more is 37%. Oh, I'm doing this on the hoof. This might not be making any sense to you, but I'll try and compose myself. So from the start, if Gundo gets 6 points, the chance of Bruno getting 7 points or more, 42%. Chance of him not doing better than Gundo is 58%. And likewise for KDB and likewise for Major. To say Gundo gets his 6 points, the chance of you not doing better than 6 points from your next 3 captains is your 58% times your 64% times your 65%. 24% chance of you not doing better than that 6 points. So that gets the odds in your favour. You're better off twisting if you have 6 points for your first captain, and then just sticking if you do 7 points or more better. Another thing to consider is how angry are you going to be, how pissed off are you going to be if your captain doesn't do well? Because I had, your subsequent captains don't do well, because I had Havertz, he had 9 points. I decided to twist. Odds were in my favour. It didn't work out that way. It was unfortunate. But it happens. That's fantasy football for you. Check my notes. And I think I've covered all the options there, actually. Sorry if that didn't make much sense about the percentages. I know what I mean is trying to communicate the maths to you about that, but let me know if that doesn't make any sense. Try and explain it better than that. But this sheet will give you a good idea of what scores to expect for the top options in the game. So the deadline is in about 2 hours' time. I wish you good luck. I am Limitless 2, just to confirm. Good luck. Be in touch.